Hello, hello. Let's see if we are live. I can see myself. I'm just checking on my mobile phone that you can see me and hear me. Oh, there you go. Can you hear me? Oh, good. Yes. This time you can hear me. If you're here, come and say hi. I'll wait a few seconds, wait for everyone to come in. How are we all going? How's your day been? If you're here, come and say hi. I'm Abby Spielman. Happy to see you all. I'm very excited to be here. I've got a beautiful session today all around what is the missing link that I think when it comes to riding confidently. What is the missing link that coaches, instructors don't talk about? And is really practice again and again and more practice, it's really enough to overcome your fear and anxiety. So we're going to explore the missing link today. I think it's very important topic to talk about. So every now and then I'm just going to glance on my mobile phone to see if there's comments over there, because I can't see it on my computer for some reason. So everything I'm going to share with you today is exactly what I did to grow my confidence, what I've been implementing every day to grow and maintain my confidence levels. And I'm going to break it down for you step by step. So as you come in, say hi. If you're new to the group, welcome. Lovely to have you here. If you're new, share with us a little bit about yourself, about your horse. Send us a picture, a selfie. We would love to see your beautiful horses. So I'm going to be live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Tag your friends who struggle with lack of confidence, anxiety, fear, or self-doubt. Invite them to the group so they can learn and get this training as well. So if you don't know about me, I'm Abby Spielman. I'm a trauma therapist who works with female equestrian all across Australia to become a confident rider, overcome fear, anxiety, and self-doubt. And you know, I see many women that I work with inside my private coaching program, and I know exactly how incredibly important it is to ride without anxiety or fear or even self-doubt. It can influence our horses, and it can influence any aspects of life. And there's a difference between knowing that I need to ride without anxiety versus I am riding without anxiety, right? So, and I'd like to know from you, where are you at your journey? Do you feel anxious when you ride, but ride anyway and try to push the anxiety and nervousness aside? Or are you avoiding riding because you feel anxious, nervous, or scared? And there's no right or wrong answer here. I just want to know where you are at. Just let me know in the comments below. And I know how it feels to regain your confidence after a trauma. It can be a fall or any negative experience. I've been there too. And we all know the saying that we hear from coaches or other riders, you know, getting back on the horse, go back on the horse. And I used to believe this is the most important thing to do after you've fallen off. But I've changed my mind because it's not about getting back on the horse. It's about honoring your body's wisdom and rebuilding trust in yourself and in the process of releasing the trauma from your body. So trauma is not just a mental experience. It lives in the body. You know, every fall, every accident, even a minor one, can trigger a survival response. And your nervous system might be associate riding with danger, leading to anxiety and fear. And let me just reassure you, it's not a sign of weakness, and you are not broken. And I'm not here to fix you either. It's your body trying to protect you. It's important to acknowledge and respect this response. So, understanding the roots of lost confidence is crucial. A fall can create a powerful connection between riding and fear, which will then stop us from riding or avoiding certain situations. So, for example, if I'd fallen off in the far end of the arena, let's say near a far corner, I might try to avoid this corner, and I might do it consciously or unconsciously. Or I had a bad fall while on the trail, I might avoid that particular trail. I might try to find different trail to just to protect myself from repeating the same situation. So our nervous system is there to protect us from danger, and in order to help it heal from a dysregulated state where we feel anxious to regulate a state where we feel calm and grounded, we really need a gentle approach with understanding and kindness and with support. And when I say gentle approach, I'm mainly focusing on understanding what's behind the symptoms of the anxiety and fear and not coming from a place of judgment. I really want to understand what's behind those symptoms. Why do we feel anxious or scared? Or why we even doubt ourselves? Why are we feeling this way? Why is there heart racing, sweaty palms? The mind's not thinking straight while we in that scary situation. But these are all symptoms. And what I like to do is explore and dig deeper so we can find out the root cause of those symptoms so we can heal them. So those are saying, those coaches or instructors that are saying, you need to get back on the horse or just do it or it will be fine, are just really dismissing your emotions and do not contribute to your mental health. And I know and I get it that it's uncomfortable to express our emotions. We are very vulnerable. However, once we do it, especially if there's a coach or instructor, it really needs to be honored and to be respected. And I'd like to invite you to look at it in a different way. By expressing your feelings and your emotions, you are honoring the body's wisdom, you are authentic to yourself, and you are present with this experience and with your horse. The more we understand about how trauma affects our nervous system, the more we are able to deal with it, accept it, and then progress forward towards healing. And if you don't allow those emotions come up, let's say after you've fallen off, if you push it down and put a lid on it so you don't need to be bothered by it, the emotion will come out one way or another. It can come up also in different parts of life, and it can also come up as anxiety, fear, and doubting ourselves. So, and again, those emotions don't necessarily come near the horses. You might feel they come up when you least expect it. Let's say in a social gathering, in family gathering, even at work. Anything that will challenge you, the same as similar to what happened back in the trauma when you've fallen off. And my friend Ava, for example, unfortunately she had a bad fall. She's okay. However, she knew more about trauma and how to release trauma. So after she fell off, she had the support, but she also allowed herself to express her emotions. She wanted to cry, we allowed her to cry. If she wanted to scream or shout or any emotions that come up, if she wanted to be quiet, that's completely fine. Whatever she wanted to do, we honor it and we allow that. Sometimes the body just needs to shake it off. That's part of the cycle and that's completely fine. And we need to allow that cycle to complete itself. Once we complete the cycle and allow the movements, allow the emotions to come out, the trauma won't last in the body. And we can feel grounded again, we'll feel quiet again. We really get in trouble because we keep pushing those feelings and emotion down, and it's like bubbling water in a pot. We try to cover it, we put the lid on, but it keeps bubbling and pushing the lid up, because we're really too scared to find out what's underneath it. And I completely understand it can be a bit scary, but if we don't take care of those emotions, that will come up. And another example, not related to horses, but maybe you've seen a gazelle or any other prey animal that's been chased, let's say, by a lion or by a tiger. Once it's managed to escape, what it does, it just shakes it off. It shakes his body to release the tension, and then it goes back to munching grass. So they don't hold on to the story, they don't hold on to the trauma, they just shake it off from the body, and that's basically the end of it. We are, as human, we just keep holding it, put a lid on it, and then that's where we get in trouble, by feeling those anxiety and fear and so on. And when it comes to a traumatic event like a fall or even close to a fall, I know a lot of women like to talk about it, and that's completely fine. However, sometimes just talking about it doesn't make it better. It can sometimes actually make it worse, because what happens is, by talking about it, we actually reliving the trauma. The sensations are still present in our body, and we might think we are over it by taking, we might think we over it and we go on with our life. But once we face big challenge, the challenge and nervous system, I think it's related to the fall I had before, or any other traumatic event, and then we'll feel anxious again. So let's talk about what is a traumatic event. A traumatic event can be a big event, like falling off the horse, for instance. However, in most times we don't pay attention, but there's also small traumatic events. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I went to Pony Club and maybe did the wrong thing, or maybe said the wrong thing, and the other kids or the other adults were laughing at me or teasing me. If I didn't know how to deal with it, I didn't have a support, I might think that expressing myself, my authentic self, is unacceptable, and it might affect how I contribute the team meetings at work or at school, or avoid, maybe it will affect interaction with people in general, or maybe even poor career choices, that I don't want to be next to people and I want to work in other places that don't involve people so much, or interaction with people. So one event seemingly small can really affect us and affect our future. And a nervous system might associate the fear of speaking your truth with danger, so leading to more anxiety and fear to express your truth and be authentic to yourself, or authentic with your friends or your colleagues. And again, this is not a sign of weakness. It's just your body trying to protect you. It's really important to acknowledge it and respect that. However, there are some healthy, safe ways to discharge this fear or anxiety and be able to let go of those emotions that have been accumulating during the years. So imagine we've been carrying a big backpack since a childbirth. So every time there's a traumatic event, it adds up another pebble to the backpack, another little stone. How big and heavy is our backpack when we are adults, right? Why do we do it? Why do we carry so much? Well, people might say to you, oh, forget it, don't let it bother you. But if you find that your reaction to an experience, let's say with your horse, or even to another rider, is quite consistent, it might be time to explore the reason behind it. and to actually try to release it, so you can let go of that burden that you've been carrying for so long, maybe years, and slowly empty that backpack. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if it makes sense. Just maybe type the word backpack below so I know. I'm just gonna see if there's any of you. So Tina is saying that I ride and push anxiety aside a lot, but there are days when I just cannot push through, and I always feel like I've failed on those non-riding days. The riding days may give me moments of subdued panic and always a sense of joy and achievement. Yeah, it's always a bit tricky to ride and while you feel anxiety. I completely understand. Yeah, sometimes we want to push through, and sometimes because we want to enjoy our horses, but then we still feel anxious every time we ride. So I completely understand where you're coming from, Tina. Yeah. All right. So as you see, even a minor event can be a really small and supposedly not important, can influence our nervous system. Once our nervous system is out of whack or dysregulated, we might feel more agitated, more anxious, fearful, lack of trust in ourselves, in our horses, or even with other people. So understanding the roots of your anxiety or loss of your confidence is crucial to move forward and find your inner power. The more we try to avoid or disconnect from the uncomfortable feeling, the more we're going to feel them. And it will pop up in different situations, like at work or with other horses or with colleagues. So you know the saying, the more we resist, it persists. It's exactly right. The more we keep pushing it down, it will come up. It's not going anywhere. And as I said, trauma is not just a mental experience. It lives in the body. We just often push it down so we don't have time, because we don't have time during our busy lives, right? So we end up feeling anxious, scared, lacking of motivation, and doubting ourselves while still trying to live our lives and ride our horses. And big events or small events, big traumatic events or small traumatic events can influence our life. They have exactly the same weight. Unfortunately, we mainly deal with the big events and not paying as much attention to the small events. But those events can make us feel anxious and scared. And until we dig deep to the root cause of these feelings, we will continue to feel anxious or scared, and we let it control our lives. And as a trauma therapist, I use a technique called embodied processing, where we dive deep to understand what is the root cause of your anxiety or fear, and to be able to release the trauma from the body so you don't need to carry that burden with you anymore, and finally let go of those emotions and empty that backpack. So without understanding why we feel the way we feel, we're basically only covering up the traumatic event, shoving it to the side because we are living in a very busy life and pretending that it's not there while continue with our lives. Understanding or exploring why I feel this way, what's been holding me back from riding, and it's not about just physicality, it's a massive change. It's a mental change. It's a deep transformation that will not only allow you to face your challenges with your horses, but also to build a really true connection with your horse, because you will come from a place of authenticity. You'll be grounded, you'll be focused, and your horse will appreciate your clear approach. So, can I ask you a question? If you are being honest with yourself, do you ever wonder, can I do it? Can I really be able to ride my horse one day? Would I be able to ride on that trail without the fear? I know how it feels because we are so invested in our fears, in our anxiety, that we actually got used to it. We got used to live like that. And sometimes change, even if I know it's for the better, can be scary because we don't know what's on the other side and we don't know what we don't know, right? It takes courage to trust the process. But what other choice have you got? You can do nothing and stay in one place, in the same feeling, and keep dreaming on the day that you would be able to ride your horse, or you can change something. Horses, as we know, are not very cheap hobby. We invest so much in feeding them, taking lessons, the farrier, vets, and yet some of the horses are not being ridden because we are feeling anxious or scared. That's a lot of money to spend on a horse that you wish one day you can ride without riding. But don't get me wrong, if you don't want to ride, it's completely fine with me. There's no judgment whatsoever. However, if this is your dream and you feel that you've been held back by fear or anxiety, isn't it time to fix it? Isn't it time to do something about it? I know we're all busy with horses and family and work commitments, but when is it a good time to take care of yourself? You know, as a mom, I know we always take care of our children, our husband, our parents, our horses, helping everyone else to move apartment, move houses, and to help them feel better. But what about you? When is your time to feel better? When is your time? So if you want to experience fun and joy with your beautiful horse without anxiety and fear that controls your life, let's have a chat, a real honest chat. Comment the word me below and I'll reach out to you and ask you some questions and see if I can help and if we're a good fit. This is just a conversation, just an honest conversation so I can understand where you are right now, what are your challenges and what you're looking to achieve. And if we're a good fit, we'll book another call on Zoom to discuss it a little bit further and into more details. So I know we're a good fit and I can help you. So remember, the goal here is for you to become a confident rider, but also to rediscover the joy and connection with your horse. Follow your passion, enjoy your horse without fear, anxiety, and self-doubt. So comment me below and let's have a chat. I'll see you next time. See you next Thursday. See ya. Bye bye.